Another young student has been raped in the Indian city of Kolkata less than a year after an assault on a medical student sparked widespread protests there. This time, the main suspect's connections to the state's ruling party have raised questions about the role of political power. DW's Nimisha Jaiswal takes a closer look at how political impunity impacts the delivery of justice following sexual violence in India.
Another brutal rape has rocked the Indian city of Kolkata. 4 people have been arrested in connection with the attack on a 24-year-old law student. The main suspect had links to the TMC, the ruling party in the state of West Bengal. He already had an alleged history of violence and harassment.
But when it comes to sexual offences in India, political impunity is nothing new. Across the country, 151 elected politicians have been charged with crimes against women, including sexual assault and rape.
I wish we could be surprised, but I'm sorry. A political affiliation, be it whatever party, especially a party that's been in power for a while, whether it's right or left, provides you a sort of alibi.
In 2023, Olympic wrestlers made allegations of sexual harassment against a member of parliament. They protested for months, but no action was taken.
And it doesn't stop there. Last year, 2 politicians were elected to parliament despite both being accused of rape.
They're among a third of current parliamentarians facing serious criminal charges, including murder and kidnap. What's more, research shows there is a higher crime rate in constituencies represented by politicians facing criminal charges.
So having criminally accused politicians win elections, it increases overall crime. It actually increases crimes against women. And it's more pronounced for politicians who face serious charges.
The knock-on effect is that fewer women are working or studying in these particular constituencies.
If you don't feel safe, you will not go out. And very likely, even if you go out, you might decrease the number of hours you work. So we actually corroborated this with labor force participation.
The Indian Supreme Court mandates that politicians must declare any cases against them. But this does not seem to deter voters.
I don't think people are just thinking about like, oh, he's a bad guy. They are delivering on getting their ration card. Maybe they are delivering on helping them with, say, getting a job.
And questioning a politician's behavior is often heavily discouraged.
So we're constantly being told, why do you want to bring up a trivial thing like sexual assault against them? You know, the greater common good demands we have these men out there fighting these important big battles.
Politicians with criminal convictions cannot run for office. But in India's slow-moving criminal justice system, court cases can take years.
They actually rely on all of that. Conviction is not going to happen maybe for the next 3 terms of parliament, right? I mean, for 15 years, no conviction is likely to happen.
Once elected, politicians facing criminal charges can wield influence over local police and administrative systems, and that can send a dangerous message to others.
When you see that these people in the power are facing these charges, why can't I? And if I'm somehow connected to the person, I feel more empowered that, oh, I'm for sure going to get away.
So what can be done to change things? Even if politicians accused of crimes cannot be barred from running for office, faster verdicts would help. But there's still a problem of perception.
But it's never a question of why does sexual assault take place? But we don't talk about everything that makes this possible. The way you raise male children, the way caste works. Because sexual assault is seen as stigmatizing the victim, never the perpetrator. So I think there is this awful protectionist attitude, which is not about justice or equality.
Let's now speak to Vrinda Grover. She's a lawyer and a human rights activist, and it's really good to have you on DW News. Welcome, Vrinda. What is the main reason powerful people accused of sexual crimes in India don't face justice from your perspective?
Well, as we know, sexual violence of any kind is a crime of power. Men in positions of power are able to ensure that the investigation is not done rigorously, that the police is complicit, that the victim, survivor, is actually intimidated, threatened to such an extent that she may not come forward. And there is a high risk that the woman then needs to take to even come forward and depose. The long trials that take place and the appellate procedures, which sometimes take decades, all of that is sufficient for particularly a person who is already voted into power or is contesting elections, to be able to manipulate the criminal justice system. And that perpetuates this kind of injustice and violence. Also, I think it's important to understand that the political leadership in India, while it gives lip service to issues around rapes, and there are some remarks and comments and speeches made when such incidents happen, actually there is no real condemnation of sexual violence against women. And that if we see across all parties, leaders who are accused, who are charged, who are being prosecuted,
Right.
are given positions, are welcomed into the political frame by all political parties.
And Vrinda, just on that point, it's often the case, and this is applicable to most societies, that it is the victims of sexual assault that are stigmatized rather than the perpetrators. These societal sort of attitudes, if one can call it that, how does this also exacerbate an environment where there is already a level of impunity, particularly for people in power?
Oh, it plays a very, very devastating role. Having said that, I think in India we are seeing a change. More and more women are coming forward across classes and asserting that sexual violence has been perpetrated against her. She is not at fault. The man should be held to account and should be booked for justice. I think women are increasingly clear that they have not, the stigma should be on the man. There is no shame on her. The shame should be on the perpetrator. Society is, of course, dragging its feet, and one of the reasons being that the political leadership is absolutely not committed to ensuring that women get justice.
Yeah.
In India, more and more women are voting in elections, but women are seen as an electoral bank, not a political constituency to serve their agenda.
Vrinda, just one more point very quickly. What do you propose can help survivors of sexual violence really get justice? What should be done within the system?
Whenever there is a case against a member of the Legislative Assembly or the Parliament, it is supposed to be a fast-track, time-bound case. When such men are accused of sexual violence, the higher courts, the High Court or the Supreme Court, should monitor these trials, monitor the investigation, and ensure that there is protection of the victim and a quick verdict, so that the man can be barred and a signal is sent across the political class that sexual violence will not be tolerated, because changing the political class's social attitude will take a few generations.
Right, Vrinda Grover, lawyer and human rights activist. We appreciate your insights here on DW. Thank you.
Thank you.